Look, Bitcoin is getting so many bullish signals. I don't have time to show you how many bullish signals are happening. I have too many charts that are all showing that a bottom is now forming. Likely bottom to Bitcoin is about to soar in a bottoming process. Now, I thought Bitcoin bottomed over here at the end of February, and I told you we could still form a divergence on the RSI and here on the oscillator and other indicators like the stochastic. But again, that was to be a bottom. We had to be able to clear the resistance and flip things back to bullish. We couldn't do it. Momentum's still bearish. You can see the red bars. You can see the red cloud. We're stalling at the 20-period moving average. Here, Bitcoin futures, we're bouncing off the 200. Bitcoin is bouncing, the Bitcoin price is bouncing off the trend line. And we got horizontal support. There's so much support, a confluence of support here. You're about to get a big rally with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has likely bottomed. We're in a bottoming process, likely now complete. And again, here with Bitcoin futures, I just wanted to show you this because, again, you've got this divergence. We're probably going to start seeing green here. And again, you flip this cloud. You get back above the 10-period moving average. Bitcoin is stalling at the 200 there. And if we can get above it, you're going to start flipping a bunch of things. But I'm getting all kinds of warning signs that Bitcoin has bottomed. Now, you can ignore that if you want to. But again, I have really, really good indicators that are telling me what's going on. They warned me about the bottom back over here. Well, you said there was a bottom over here. Yep, because my signal said there was a bottom here, and there was. But I told you, again, it could be a counter trend, or we can get a divergence and go back and test this low. We talked about that at the RSI back at the time. Ended up testing that low. We went $1,500 below this low. Wow. Buyers came back in. You know, again, my indicators are awesome. And again, Bitcoin is about to surge. We're forming a bull flag. We're going to go make new highs. This is really exciting. Bears are going to be, you're going to see a massive short squeeze. The perma bears are going to cover their shorts. And then we're going to go, when we get the rally, and then eventually, and then they're going to say, oh, it's over, it's over. Like, you remember over here? Oh, the CME gap. And right now they're calling for this massive crash on Bitcoin, and it's bottoming. And they're, oh, the CME, that was the counter trend. And then we pushed it back down. And now you've got the bullish divergences that are completing. And here, like on the oscillator and the stochastic, which is getting the bullish cross. And I'm getting all kinds of bullish signals. You're going to flip this, and you're going to get this big rally, and you're going to come take out that resistance zone directly overhead. But I wanted to show you, we're still bearish momentum, but my signals, which are correct, are telling me that we are bottoming for Bitcoin. The Bitcoin futures. Now, we're going to go back, and they're telling us it was over. That was it. The CME gap, that was it. It's over. And I'm telling you, we're going to go back above that level, and you're going to go back and challenge the highs, and you're going to go back and see Bitcoin move to probably about 135 to 140, maybe 145,000. Again, I think you're going to see Bitcoin get the final phase of the blow-off top. The crash that we're getting right now on Bitcoin is not the crash I've been warning about. We're going to drop 50%. You know, I told you we dropped 50%. Have the Fed end up getting a cut and all this. I've been talking about completing of the topping process being followed by about a 50% crash on Bitcoin, a 20% crash on the S&P 500. This is not it. This is the preview of coming attractions. Look at how depressed everybody is. Remember this, because when we go up, they're going to tell us, oh, no, this is never going to happen. That we're going to be hearing, oh, we're going to have the Fed meeting next week. The Fed has our back. You're probably going to have quantitative tightening come to a conclusion. They're either going to announce at this meeting or the next meeting. And if they announce at this meeting, then everybody's going to go, oh, QE is coming. Let's get in. You're going to have a bunch of bullish sentiment. I'm going to try to run through as many indicators as I can, but I got so many bullish indicators. I don't know what I got. Bullish indicators coming out of my ears. I've got so many bullish indicators. Hey, watch the video all the way through. I'll be talking about the weekly chart and what I'm looking for and the target levels. I think we're finishing wave 4. We finished wave 4 and we're now starting wave 5. Try to do an L8 wave update this week. Please support the channel with the link directly below. That allows me to be able to provide you this information. If you like the charts, you like the indicators, let me know that by supporting the channel today. I don't have any sponsors. I don't want to send you to exchanges. I want to get you all loaded up to wipe you out, leveraged up. And there's so many shady deals on the internet. So I just ask that you support the channel. But if you like my chart, if you like my indicators, let me know that. It takes a lot of time and effort to do this. Let me know you want this information. But I need to hear from you in order to make it work. So please take a moment and just do what you can. Follow the link below and just support the channel with anything you can. I thank you for your consideration for that. We are a couple of hours into the Thursday session. We got the CPI. It came in cool. So we got a relief rally with the stock market. And I told you the stock market would try to get a relief rally and follow Bitcoin. It did. We had a rally. The VIX predicted that we either get a bottom or a bounce with the S&P. We've likely bottomed. Bitcoin probably has. Again, this is Bitcoin's average price. And it's bottoming out just above that. If you lose this area, that's extremely bearish. If you drop below it and get back above it, it's not. But if you drop below it and stay below it, that's extremely bearish. We're likely bottoming. Last time we tagged this level, we tagged it at the August low and then again at the September low. And here it is, the August low at, what was it, 49,000, and then the 52,000 low at September. And we had the massive run up all the way up to the January high. Now we're just above it right here. You lose this level, that's going to be very bearish. You bounce off this level and get back above the 100 period moving average, that's going to be extremely bullish. But peak of stinking boo, you got what, a bull flag. Well, isn't that what we had over here? Again, I am so bullish on Bitcoin, I can't contain it. The herd, again, when I call the top right there, I called both the December top and the January top, the days of those tops, because of a trend line that I talked to you about in the weekly time frame and the divergences in the daily time frame. And I told you we were going back to test the January low, which I called that day of that bottom too, because I have good indicators. But I predicted the top, this sell-off, but I have to admit, I thought the January low would hold. I thought we'd sell off back to support and bounce. We've gone lower. My signals have been correct. They've remained bearish. So again, right about the top, right about the crash, wrong about the January low holding up. But I did tell you what could happen. I told you that if we didn't finish wave 4 over here, that you got it over here. And I told you if we did take out the January low, we go back to the 200. And again, our trade over here didn't work out. So what do? Wait for the next opportunity to come along. I'm a trader. I don't care which way Bitcoin goes. I could really care less. I can make money on the short side. I can make money on the long side. Right now, I'm bullish. Up here, I was bearish. Up here, I said maybe we have a bottom, but it didn't. My trade didn't work out. Now, again, I'm aggressively. I bought right here. I bought right here as we tested the 200 period moving average. I bought down here. We dropped 7% below that. Bought down here aggressively. Phrase that. I started a position right here, aggressively added to it right here, and then when we came back, built upon that position even more, and then at Tuesday's low, again, loaded up some more. So again, these lows, I believe, are the bottom, okay? I believe Bitcoin is about to surge back up to the resistance zone, back up to test the 50 and the 100, back up to test this resistance zone, the high here from the announcement of the crypto strategic reserve. Massive bull flag right here. This is going to be a continuation. The herd, are so bullish up at these tops, okay? I wasn't. I called those tops. I told you I got bullish here and said, hey, we could form a bottom at this area, at this support zone with this low and this low. Things didn't work out. So now we've come back to the next level of support. So again, here and here, I am extremely bullish on Bitcoin. The herd, they're not. They're bearish. You got people selling at the bottom. You got people so discouraged. Rally, these people are going to change their sentiment really, really fast. Now, they're very bearish. They were very bullish up here. I'm bullish down here. I do the opposite of what the herd does, okay? And again, I'm a trader. Trade the short side, trade the long side. I really don't care which way Bitcoin goes. I'm telling you, right now, I'm so bullish, I can't control the amount of excitement I have about Bitcoin because I know it's going higher. It's a buying opportunity, great buying opportunity, or great shorting opportunities. Again, the herd, but I want you to remember the emotion here because when we go back up to new highs, I'm going to sell into the rally, lock in gains. This is opportunity time. Flip the trade when we go to my resistance levels and my target levels. I'm going to go back to short because, again, I don't care. I'm a trader. I go back and forth, back and forth. Herd is going to do the same thing they did back up at the December top and back up at the January top, and they're going to be, no, Bitcoin's going to 500. Yeah, I think we're going to get back above the 10. I think we're going to get back above the 200 here. We rallied up 5.5%, and then we rallied up a little bit more. What do we close at here with the session? Let me just bring this up here. We closed almost 1% higher, 0.91% higher. Right now at the moment, we're pretty much flat. We're up 0.16% as we're a couple hours into the Thursday session. So beautiful, beautiful bull flag. Now this bull flag, you've got horizontal support directly below, which was the March high at 74,000. Remember, we hit the low here at 78,000, and then we hit right here 76,500. We went $1,500, but we couldn't close below that level. It was not confirmed, and we didn't take out Bitcoin's average price. So you've got horizontal support, Bitcoin's average price, a 50-week moving average. You've got the rising trend line. You've got a boatload. You've got this trend line right here intersecting with the rising trend line. This is likely the bottom, and I am so bullish on Bitcoin because there's just been so many great opportunities here right in this area, and I started accumulating just above the 200 and then accumulating more at these dips below it, and just wonderful, wonderful opportunities. And I've got a massive position now on Bitcoin, so again, I think it's going to be a great opportunity. When we get up there, I'm going to do a massive short position at my resistance levels. That's my strategy. Recommendation to buy or sell anything to anybody. I'm telling you what I'm doing. Now, this is Bitcoin's weekly chart. Here's the bull flag. The bull flag is formed, and the lower boundary intersects with the rising trend line from the 2023 low. Now, if we break this level, then that's going to be very bad. You're going to be taking out the 50-week moving average. You're going to be taking out Bitcoin's average price. I think you bounce. I think that you have a bull flag. I think you go higher. Then you complete the blow off top. The problem with so many people in crypto is they get so hyped up, so many perma bulls in crypto that, again, they don't believe Bitcoin goes down. And right now, they're getting they're depressed. And then when it goes up, they're not going to sell. They're going to just hang on to it and ride the whole bear market, the next bear market, all the way down again. That's what these people do. They rode the last bear market down. They're going to do it again. You got to sell into the rallies. You got to watch for the ship to make the turn in the other direction. And that's what I think is going to happen. But probably at 135, 140, maybe as high as 145. Depending on when we reach my target levels, but I think we are going higher. Bull flag into this level. This level breaks, we break down. That's not going to be good for Bitcoin. You bounce here, that's going to be extremely, extremely bullish. You're bouncing off the 50. I got the 50 EMA and the simple moving average here as well, and you're bouncing off both. NASDAQ broke the trend line. It's testing its 50. It broke the trend line at 50, but it's trying to get a bottoming tail. NVIDIA's jumping up. Something's going to happen this week. When if we get good tariff news? When if something good happens that gives us a rally? And then next week with the Fed, you got a great shot. We're going to rally with the Fed next week. They in quantitative tightening, the market would like that. When if we're going to get the Fed projections? When if they raise the Fed projections from 2 cuts in 2025? Maybe they raise it to 3 or 4, back to 4 again. Because the herd believes that the rate cuts are bullish. They're not. They're bearish. We're about to have a recession. Recession's going to hit in 2025. The EMA and the SMA, we bounced off of it over here, okay? The lower boundary of the trend line and this trend line intersect. Over here, same thing, went sideways. And again, I believe this is a flush out move. We had a flush out move back over here. I've talked about it. We came down and we got a flush out right here and right here. And then you went higher. Here, we've come down and we had a flush out right here, okay, of the weak hands. And then again, great buying opportunity, and then we're going to go higher. So you're forming this bull flag into the rising trend line, into the 50 period, into horizontal support from the March high, into Bitcoin's average price. You got a lot of stinking support there, man. Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? Understand why I am so bullish on Bitcoin. I can't contain myself. Now I'm going to run through some of my signals here. I'll try to get through as many as I can. I got so many bullish signals. There's just not enough time to show you them all. Again, I talked about the bullish signals over here. And again, I bring it up close, you can see we actually had back-to-back bullish signals right there, okay? You're getting another one here with these lows right here and this 5.5% rally we had yesterday. Now you're getting it. And here we are into the new session. If we can clear the 200, you're going to start seeing the momentum line turn back to bullish. I want to be clear. The momentum signals are still bearish, okay? the momentum line. We still have a bearish reversal of conditions that I showed you with the S&P, the Bitcoin futures. The trend signals are still bearish. Everything's red here. But again, you're getting these signals warning, hey, you got a potential reversal happening. You're getting bottoming signals that are forming, just like over here. Now, this was a counter trend, and we ended up forming a divergence. So I'm going to be looking for the balance of power to go back in positive territory. I'll be looking for a push above the 200 and the 10 period, and I'll be looking for the momentum line here to turn back to blue, and you'll likely see that before the week ends. You'll probably see it Thursday or Friday in all likelihood. And again, if we get a big surge with the bar right here tomorrow for the Thursday session, which I think that you could try to get above that level, either we pull back and we do it, or we do it right here now with this session that we're just quiet on right now, you can get a big surge. And if you get a big surge going back up to test this high, and this high right here, the resistance zone, again, you're going to start seeing the momentum signals begin to turn back to bullish. But this is warning me, I'm sharing with you my personal signals that are showing that a bottom is under construction just above Bitcoin's average price. I already told you that momentum had turned back to bullish, and we got these bullish signals on the 4-hour chart already. I told you that in yesterday's video, and that has played out very nicely. Now I think that's going to spill over into the daily time frame, causing the momentum line here in the daily time frame to turn back to bullish, causing the bars that have been red, look at the red bars reflecting the downward trend, that's going to turn back to bullish. Now you're getting red cloud, green cloud, red cloud. It's going to turn back to green. This is showing a bottoming process. You're going to see more bullish signals. You're going to get a little blue arrow here pretty soon, showing that when we start to rally, and we could see it on Thursday, you could see a massive bar by the time, we closed for the session on Thursday. During tomorrow's session, if we break above that 200 period and the 10 period on the daily time frame and try to clear the 200 period here. It's a black line you see. Here, again, got the same signals here, but a little bit different indicators, but I've been warning you about the momentum here forming this bullish diversions. Again, we moved to a new low. We completed the diversions. You got it here with momentum. You got it on the RSI. You got it all over the place. Got it on the 4-hour chart. I went through that in my last update. I mean, I've got so many bullish things happening with Bitcoin. It's insane, but we're going to go higher, and we're going to need to see the ribbon turn back to bullish. That momentum line I showed you a moment ago, get back above that ribbon here and see it turn back to green. Here, I have this line right here represents a short-term trend, which is down. We're dropping. We're below it. We need to get above it and have it turn back to blue. Need to get back above the 100-period moving average. Flip the cloud. So again, things need to happen, okay? And then right here, this little line, a little hard to see because the ribbon is covering it, but it's red. We need to flip that back to blue, and when we start surging above it, it's going to start turning back to blue, and you'll see momentum likely turn back to bullish in the daily time frame. Good chance it does if we can get a close above that 200 period, that you'll see it happen Thursday or Friday. But you got to close. Listen carefully. You got to close back above this 200 period. We're stalling here right at it right now. Bitcoin is going to surge into positive territory, and that's when you're going to get your massive rally. Again, I think you got your Bitcoin bottom in. I think we're going higher. More bullish signals for Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. More bullish signals. Now that's going to likely flip momentum, okay? I'm trying to flip over here, but it was a counter trend. This time it's likely not going to be a counter trend. You likely have a bottom. As I'm making the video, Bitcoin's trying to get above that 200 period. We're up 0.63% at the moment. Again, just a couple hours into the session, we're trying to get above it. I think you're going to surge above this level or pull back and surge above it, one or the other. But I think you're going to move towards this trend line. I think you're going to move towards these highs over here, the resistance zone, and I think you're going to try to clear that trend line. I think you're going to get a massive rally on Bitcoin, and eventually I think you're going to see it challenge the highs and eventually take out 109,000. The herd is so bearish here, and then the perma bears are so bearish here. Bitcoin is likely bottoming. Beautiful signals here. I think we have something like what we had over here. It marked a bottom here, and then marked another bottom here on Tuesday. And again, I've been talking about the test of the 200 period moving average. NASDAQ and S&P followed Bitcoin back down to the 200 period moving average. They're all likely about to rebound and get back above them. and rally big time. But I think you have something like what you had over here, a peak, a sell signal. We had some volatility, and then we got another. We got the actual top right here. I think you had the bottom here, and then we went a little bit lower, $1,500 lower, and then we bottomed out and we rallied. My signals have done a really good job in marking that December peak over here, top over here in January over here, and right here. You got to flip everything back to green. You got a lot of red going on here. You got to get back up here and clear the trend line. That's going to flip everything back to green. I think you're going to go up, bust up through that trend line, probably end up back testing it, building momentum. People that tell us, oh, the CME gap, and we're going to go above this level, and they're going to start freaking out. And again, you're going to see a massive short squeeze. People are short Bitcoin. You're going to see a massive short squeeze. We could see a big move. You could see, another big percentage move. This was 5.5%. You can see something, bigger than that. You can see an 8, 9, 10% move when we start moving out of this. You can see a big move like we had over here when we had the crypto strategic rally for the reserve there. Again, I've got bullish signals everywhere. I showed you this last time. We got bullish divergences everywhere on the intraday charts, on the daily charts, everywhere. You got bullish divergences. This is likely going to turn this around. We're going to start seeing signals flip back to bullish. Things are still red right here, and we got red bars and indicators of red. But again, I'm getting a warning sign of another bottom, just like I got over here. Okay, got one here, but it didn't play out. So again, these signals did play out. These signals are probably going to play out, and we're probably going to flip all this red around and see a breakout. But you got to get above that 93 to 95,000 area. That's where all the resistance is and the downward trend line. You got to break above that. I think you're going to do it. Intraday 4-hour time frame. I told you in yesterday's video that again we could get a throwback for a back test, throwing back or try to back test the line completely and get a right shoulder. That's now happened. So we're coming up to the neckline. You break out of this pattern. It's a 4-hour chart, and again bars are now turning back to green after a pullback, a slight pullback, and we've had this sell off right here. We had the green going on over here in the 4-hour time frame, and it failed. The strategic reserve rally, and we tried again and it failed. We stalled at that 20 period in the daily time frame. Came back to the support zone. You can't bust them up. You're going to try to bust them back down. You couldn't bust them back down. Now you can't bust them back down. You got bottoming tails. You can't bust them down. You're going to try to bust them back up. So we're going to go back up to this resistance zone and try to bust them back up. That's the way it works, my friends. Live it, love it, learn it. Right on, right on, right on. You got bullish divergences forming everywhere. I think you're going to get back into the positive portion of the cloud here. I think you're going to see a move into the positive region. Again, we've dropped out of the positive portion of the cloud and signals turned into the negative region. I think that's about to change. Got a boatload of resistance overhead, so there's more work to be done. We'll probably rally up to the VWAP and the moving averages and the 100 period moving average, but you got this horizontal resistance right here. You got this resistance zone just underneath that, and if you clear it, you move into the horizontal resistance area. And again, if you break above the downward trend line, you'll be moving into that area. And then we have more resistance up here at this lower high, and then you have your 109,000 top up here. So that's our resistance. Our support is down here, but you start breaking down, to be taking out major support levels. That's going to be extremely bearish. So that we're going to bottom and bounce at the levels I'm talking about. Now, I've been working on this program right here for months and months, and it nailed the December top. It nailed the January top. It nailed the January bottom. And again, I called all those tops and bottoms correctly. Called this for a bottom. We went a little bit lower. But I still told you, I think we have a bottom. And I told you we might go a little bit lower if we form a divergence on the RSI and some other indicators like momentum. But I programmed it to flip to green bars when the trend begins to change or tries to change. It tried to change right here and it couldn't do it. Over here, it marked the top right after that. Over here, we got the sell signals, but then we started to go sideways for a little bit, and it officially flipped right there. So, man, I think I broke the Bitcoin code here. Other signals, I'm getting a bottoming signal right here. I don't have one here, but this signal is still holding as a bottom. Again, the last bearish signal I got was back over here. So, again, I think you're going to get a reversal with the divergence, and I think we're going to see things begin to flip here very soon. I think you're going to get a big move up Thursday, Friday, or on the weekend. I think you're going to see a big move up. If you can clear that 200 period moving average, you're going to get a big rally. going to be a short squeeze rally. You're going to, all these people that are short are going to be squeezed. But if my signals, which are correct, flip back to bullish, then get ready for a massive Bitcoin rally. But we're already getting the warning sign that a bottom is under construction here and likely has now completed with the low on Tuesday. So again, we have the bull flag into the rising trend line. This is a daily chart into horizontal support at the 200 period, forming bullish diversions. And again, it's a really, really good support in this area. The MACD is forming a Class B divergence, really two equal lows, and we've gone lower on the Bitcoin price. Got the bullish diversions on IBIT. It's going back to fill these gaps at 49.41 and 53.41. You're going to see these gaps filled, and then we're going to try to break the downward trend here with IBIT and break the downward trend with Bitcoin. But again, you've got these bullish divergences on the 60-minute chart for IBIT, and you've got the bullish diversions on the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin, and we're seeing the strength there with these bullish divergences giving us a rally over the last 2 days. I not only bought Bitcoin, but I bought the Bitcoin ETF IBIT too. I'm making the video. Bitcoin's trying to clear that 200. We could see a big bar tomorrow. As we are now in the Thursday session, we could see a big bar for Thursday. The stock market opens tomorrow. We could see that happen, or we could do it later. If we do pull back, we could do it later. But we might just see this V-shaped recovery like that. Okay, that's what we got over here, V-shaped recovery. And again, you might just start surging down if you can get above that 200. We are doing it right now as I'm making the video here. Bitcoin's up about 0.5%, but you've got the bullish diversions right here. You've got the bullish diversions on the MACD. It hasn't quite gotten a bullish cross. You can see it here on the histogram, but you've got these two almost equal lows, which is a Class B diversions. Today we had the bullish diversions on the stochastic. So you've got all kinds of bullish signals developing. This divergence for the first peak in December, I talked about that. That's why I correctly called that top. And we had the sell-off. Then I called the bottom over here because we hit support and my signals warned. Then we got another divergence here, called that top. And that formed this massive divergence. And you had it on the MACD. But you also had this divergence Pring parameter, and I think Pring parameter is going to firm up and form a massive divergence with Bitcoin, and we're going to go to new highs. So again, we got to clear the 200. We're trying to do that right now. And we got to be able to clear the 10 period, the 20 period. We keep getting rejection at the 20 period moving average, and then we got to be able to make our way up to this trend line to try to take it out. The 150 are up there in the cloud, and then horizontal resistance. So we got work to be done, more work to be done to turn this around. But I think you're going to get a big move up into this area, up into the resistance zone here, and I think you could see that very, very soon. I think you could see this move up into the resistance zone, and then we'll see what happens at these areas if we stall and pull back and consolidate. But you got to be able to clear this first resistance zone right here and get back above the 100 if you're going to try to challenge the 109,000 peak. Talked about these bullish divergences in the 4-hour time frame. And again, bullish divergence here. We had this bottom form a bullish divergence right here with indicators in the 4-hour time frame, and then now you get this bullish divergence right here, this little bullish divergence right here, these bottoming tails. The bottoming tail, you got a hammer candlestick here in the 4-hour time frame. So again, I think you're on your way, headed back up to test the trend line. Probably got to try to take it out and try to test the resistance zone, and if you can clear it, then you're going to break out and end up back testing if you can clear it. So we'll be watching to see if we can clear that area. If you do, then you go above that 93 to 95,000 area of resistance. You had the same thing going on here with the MACD. You had the MACD form this bullish divergence. Now the risk is we go back and we test this level, and again, if Bitcoin goes down a little bit lower, which I don't think it will, I think it has bottomed, but if we go down below the 76,500 area, well, right below that, you got horizontal support at 74,000. You got Bitcoin's average price, and you got your trend line of support that we're trying to bounce off of. So I think you got a good chance the MACD is going to try to go positive territory here rather than roll back over. But you could pull back and get a higher low, or you could still try to take this level out. But I have the guts to tell you what I think. And again, I think we're in a large bottoming process. Got to get back above the 50. Got to get back above the 200 to clear that trend line. We'll be watching, and then you got to get that 50 back above the 200 for this whole thing to end. Bitcoin's at the 10-month moving average. This is a make it or break it moment. When we start losing this area, then that's going to be bearish, like over here. We bounce here, then you're going to go up and get one more final rally for the blow off top, the final phase of the blow off top. Bounced off of it here, bounced off of it here, just like the 50. The 50 right now, Bitcoin's bouncing. I've shown you that chart. The 50-week moving average, the EMA, and the simple moving average. Here, the 10-month moving average. This is the Bitcoin follows the 10-month moving average in the monthly time frame. It follows the 20 and the 50 in the weekly and the 100 in the daily. Below the 100, we've come back here to test the 50-week and the weekly, and here the 10-month moving average. I think you're still going to get one more push higher to complete the blow off top. A better looking divergence than what we already had, what we already had over here. Look at MicroStrategy, right at the trend line right here with a bull flag. Same thing Bitcoin's doing, trying to get some bottoming tails here in the weekly time frame. I think you're going to see MicroStrategy push up and end up making a new high. Then I think it's going to top, and Bitcoin's going to top when they go and get the big rallies. The week we're up 4%. We've got a bullish bar right at this trend line of support right here from the 2023 low. Okay, we've got a channel going all the way back to 2022 at this blue line right here, and if we go higher again, I think that you could reach the upper boundary of that channel. We didn't reach it over here. We went nowhere for months. And then we had this flush out move now that I believe is a flush out move below our 20. If we could bounce off the 50, which is now seen here, which we've been showing you, and get back above the 20, you can get the RSI back up into the positive region. Right now it's gone briefly negative. Okay, this is where the bottom briefly negative down over here. This is where the bottom was down over here briefly negative. So again, I think it's going to turn back up. The RSI is going to turn back up, and I think you're going to end up getting this massive negative divergence as we go up into this area up in here, this upper channel line area for Bitcoin. Or these highs, we can't reach my upper channel line, and it's possible that we don't reach it, but that's where I think we're actually headed, which again, right now, that might take us to 135, 140, 145,000. It was at lower levels before, but we couldn't reach the trend line. And I think that this is the wave 4, and I think it's done. I think we're now starting the wave 5. Point up 4% in the week. Again, I think a massive negative divergence is likely going to form here. We had a little tiny one. We had a little tiny one right here. We went higher, and we got a little tiny one right there. But as I keep saying, the RSI was on a topping tail and a wick, and the RSI doesn't look at that. So it really confirmed a lower high. I think you're still going to get the diversions where you come up here and you get a close above the 108 and 109,000 area.